Hello everybody. Thank you for joining my video here. Okay, this will be changing attitudes, segment 11. It has to do with weight that some women are putting off or putting on or putting up with. And I have a little bit of something to explain the purpose of weight for some people. And but I'll start my story here by explaining that many years ago, I was in a bookstore, bought a book, and on my way out through the crowd in the store, I passed three women that were chatting. One woman was very large, and she said, "I don't know why I have this weight on my body." My intuition is sharp and it comes through with an answer. And I say, "It's because you don't want to be pushed around, ma'am." And as I continued walking away, I heard her say to her two other ladies there, "That is so true. And I just spent 3 years at the Dalai Lama's courses, and not one person ever mentioned that to me." So keep this in mind. There are other reasons why people, women particularly, because men don't seem to worry about if they have too much weight. But for some women, it's a constant consideration, concern. So let me go back in time further. I was 19 when I married my teenage sweetheart, and we had and have 4 wonderful children, 2 girls, 2 boys. But the time I'm going to talk about is when we were, maybe my oldest child was about 12 years old. And at home, in the morning, Monday morning, we hear my wife scream, and she's in the washroom. And I think, what did she do? Stick her finger up the faucet? Can't get it out? So we all run to the washroom, and I open the door, and there she is standing on the scale. One of those scales that's just flat on the floor. And I say, "Are you okay? You all right? Something happened?" She says, "Yes, I lost 5 pounds." Well, if she had any fat at all, you could call it baby fat, because she was short, but 5 pounds of weight added to her body is like 15 pounds to a taller woman. But there she is saying she lost 5 pounds. I said, "Well, why didn't that make you happy?" She says, "You know what we did on the weekend? Friday we were at the bar and ate and drank, and Saturday night we were at another bar, ate and drank, and Sunday we were at a dance and we ate there and drank." It was in our ritual to have a drink here and there. So, and she says, "And I shouldn't have lost weight." So I think, and I said, "Well, did you worry about what you're eating, that it may make you fat?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, maybe that's the secret. Don't worry about it. You're always worrying about it. Don't worry about it." She says, "That can't be all." I said, thinking, "Do you have a dress that doesn't quite fit you in your wardrobe?" She says, "Yes, I have that white dress with some black splotches on it. blotches, whatever. I said, well, then imagine now and then that you're putting that dress on, and not only does it fit, it's actually a little loose. And she says, is that all? I said, well, yeah, not quite though. Don't get on the scale anymore. She says, well, how will I know if I'm losing weight? I said, your dress will tell you. If it fits, you lost weight. So anyway, over the next number of days, weeks, and a few months even, I still heard her getting on the scale. Plunk, clunk, clunk. If I could hear it if I was in the living room or the kitchen. So I knew she was ignoring my comments, and I don't blame her. But then one day I didn't hear the clunk of the scale, nor the next, nor 10 or 12 days later did I never hear this clunk of the scale. And I'm sitting in the living room having a coffee, and after having my eggs and bacon breakfast, and she appears in front of me and says, do you notice anything different about me? So if I hadn't been warned by the lack of sound of the scales, I would probably say, oh, a different lipstick, a different hairdo, because I'm a pretty dumb husband when it comes to it. And but I was able to say, you've got that dress on that didn't fit you before. She says, yes, I did what you said and it works. So I'm so happy. Yeah. So that's what a person may just need to do. Don't worry about what she's eating. Don't worry, and imagine we're putting on a outfit that's formally a little tight, and imagine it fitting and being actually a little loose. And don't get on the scale. And she was so happy, she told her lady friends, and they have a little bit of weight. and they all applied my steps, and it worked. So if you have a weight problem and you're a woman, give it a try. If you're a man that has a woman in his life that has a little weight situation going on, she can give my system a try. Simple. And about people that have weight, there's different reasons. I mean, a woman may put on weight, extra weight, a lot of weight, because she wants to make herself look ugly, because she's been assaulted. Or it may be like this famous lady that does interviews, whose stepfather said to her as she was before her teens maybe, or during her teens, don't worry about getting fat. You will always be fat like your mother is. You know, there's many reasons why somebody, a woman in this case, puts on weight. Anyway, my suggestion worked for my former wife, and it worked for her friends, and I've only passed it on a few times since. Give it a try, see how it works if you want to lose a little bit of weight. All the best. Thanks for listening and viewing my video. Bye bye now.